Okay, joining me today is none other than Brisbane's finest, Dan Hill. Now, Dan, the reason why I wanted to get you on is because I found out you were headlining the next Eternal card, and then I went back and looked at your highlights and looked at your record, and honestly, man, I got to say you have such a bright future. Uh,
Thanks, mate.
First off, right off the bat, I watched your submission against Josh Tonga in the fourth round, and I thought that was going to go the distance, and then you put him away and you secured that submission. I thought it was phenomenal. Tell me, man, what was your game plan going into that fight?
It was sort of just to strike with him, look for the takedown here and there. Just do my MMA. I'm pretty good at all round. I feel that I've got a really good MMA game. So yeah, just sort of go with the flow, strike, try and take him down. Couldn't get him down. He was had pretty good takedown defense off the cage. I found that out pretty quick. I shot in. He was pretty technical in that sense, and yeah, just kept striking and then wore him down, and then he actually took me down, and yeah, we're on the ground, and then I obviously I hit him with that nice hip bump sweep, and then yeah, straight onto me out, and he turned, and then yeah, took his back and choked him out.
Very nice, man. That was absolutely solid. Now, you've got a big fight coming up in August 7th. You are going to be headlining the next Eternal card. I'm sorry, apologies if I'm wrong, but is this the first time you're going to be a main event?
Yeah, that's correct. Main event, first time.
Since stepping up in the world. How do you feel?
Yeah, I feel like I can carry that flag pretty well, I've got a lot of support up in Brisbane, so I should have a lot of people coming to see me, and they should make some plenty of noise for me, so it should be good. And I expect it to be a good show with Mumford, pretty good matchup. So I'm looking forward to it, mate.
Brilliant to hear. And it's glad that you are, sorry, I'm here in Perth right now, so obviously we have capacity back in crowds. What's the situation right now in Brisbane? Apologies, I'm not really following the news lately, in terms of COVID, I mean.
We're still wearing masks in closed off places. I'm not sure how long that will be for. I think that'll be gone by the time turns on. And I think the capacity is limited, but the venue we're fighting at is only 600 people anyway. So I don't think that matters. And I think because it's a ticketed event, like you got to buy tickets, I think that makes a difference with the COVID situation. Like because it's ticketed, that won't get like the capacity is different or something like that. This is what I've been hearing. I don't really follow the news either, to be honest. I just train and just think it goes ahead.
Yeah, I feel you, man. Like it's a weird time right now to be watching the news, like especially if you live in Sydney. Like dudes having flaming swords at protests and throwing paint at the police, and now I think they got literally like 180 cases yesterday. I'm not sure what it was today, but yeah, honestly, I don't know what the fuck is going on over there. It's not great. That's all I can say. No. Anyway, man, so let's rewind the clocks back a little bit, man. So tell me, what is your background and how did you get involved in MMA in the first place?
So I grew up in Tassie, Launceston, Tasmania. I started amateur boxing when I was about 14, so that was way back. I did that for a couple of years, and then I started BJJ about 16. And because there was no, like MMA is not very, wasn't very good back in Tassie, like in Launceston. So I sort of done BJJ, and then I had to do amateur boxing at the same time. And I started doing a bit of Muay Thai, so I'd have to train Muay Thai somewhere else, and then boxing somewhere else, and then Jiu-Jitsu somewhere else, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. And so there was never really any MMA gyms in Launceston, so I kept training there till I was about 17. And then I moved up to the Sunshine Coast in Queensland. And then that's where I started training at integrated MMA on the Sunshine Coast with a guy called Rob Graffita. That was my coach. And because Rob was tied in with integrated in Brisbane, which is an hour drive, so we would train up at Brisbane twice a week, and then we'll do the rest of our training on the sunny coast. With these gyms are an hour. And then so I had my first amateur fight when I was 17 up in in Queensland. Yeah, this is B class, so amateur. And then I had a couple more, I had 2 more. So I think I was, 17, 18. So I'd had 3 fights all that, amateur. And then I had my first pro when I was 19. So that was my first professional one. So after that, I had my next one when I was about 20, I think. I remember around 20. Then I took a bit of a layoff after that. I sort of had a falling out with my coach, on the Sunshine Coast. So that was just like personal things. And then so I still trained in Brisbane with Adrian Pang, but because that was an hour drive, I would only get up there like 3 times a week because it was a bit of a drive. So I was sort of just training and wasn't really doing much. I was partying a lot. Wasn't really going anywhere really. Didn't really have much purpose, I guess. And then I ended up getting a job at Nitro Boxing in Brisbane. So I made the move from the Sunshine Coast to Brisbane, which is only an hour, but still I packed everything up, moved to Brisbane, started working at Nitro as a personal trainer. So like holding pads and all that under Blair Studley. So that's obviously Isaac Arbin's coach. You probably know Isaac Arbin, the MMA fighter turned boxer. So I started training with Blair, and Blair's obviously good friends with Adrian. So them gyms are tied in together, Nitro and Integrated. So now I train at Nitro and I train at Integrated too. So I do all my striking at Nitro, and I'd go up to Adrian's gym 2 to 3 times a week to do my MMA training. So, and then obviously when I started competing again end of last year, I've found my purpose again, and I've got a good gym to train at, and I'm back on track. So that's why I'm being a bit more active now. And you're seeing me fight a lot more now.
That's great to hear. Are you still with Nitro?
Yeah, I'm still working at Nitro. Yeah.
And I was also going
I work at Nitro and I train at Integrated also.
Awesome. So I'm guessing that is your, what is it? Because obviously as being a professional fighter, you're spending all your time training. The question I was going to ask was, do you have like another day job that you do to supplement your income, obviously? And then is this through coaching?
Yeah, so I work in Nitro, so I hold pads and take people through workouts as a personal trainer. So we do like our clients in the morning from 5:36 in the morning to about 9:30, and then we train as a team at 10 a.m. every day. So I get my first session in, and then obviously we do a few more clients in the Arvo at night, and then I'll go to Integrated at night time and do a session up there, so twice a day. And I'm basically in the gym all day, every day. So it's pretty much living out the man.
I feel you, man. From one personal trainer to another, I feel you, man. So let's talk about your first fight now. Of course, I might not have all the facts written down, so correct me where I'm wrong. From research that I found, your first amateur fight was in 2014 against Scott Lowe. Is that correct?
That's correct. But I actually had another one before that, which wasn't sanctioned.
Oh, I see.
It's not on the record, but that was just a deep off one. But yeah, my first sanctioned amateur one was with Scott Lowe on the Turner.
Oh, okay. So if you don't mind me asking about the first one, why wasn't it sanctioned?
It was in a basketball stadium in a place called Harvey Bay, which is in Queensland somewhere. And it was just run by it was just a dodgy sort of show, you know what I mean? And it was a lot of referee and everything, and like a doctor and all that, and it just wasn't sanctioned by MMA Australasia. That was all.
I see. So tell me about the first fight, that unsanctioned fight then. What did they have you do? Did they have you go wrap up in the backdoor toilets and then, get a walkout, so you just run straight to the cage? What was that like?
No, it was pretty well clean. Like we were at the back warmed up. It was a pretty good warm-up area. Had my hands wrapped on a coach and had a referee and someone go over the rules. And it was all smooth. It was just it was in a ring though. It wasn't in a cage. So it was pretty dodgy for the first fight, but I ended up winning by decision, so it was a good first one.
Very nice. And then you had, after that was Scott, and then after that was James Hooper, which was in 2015. Yeah. So from James Hooper to your first ever professional fight against Chemo Smith, what made you want to take the jump after just 3 amateur fights?
I felt that I was ready to go, and I was kind of like the elbows type perspective, fighting with elbows and longer rounds. I just thought, I'm ready to go. So I just didn't think there was any point in having another amateur fight when I could just be turning pro and starting to have a winning record in the pro ranks. That was all. And obviously my coach agreed and thought that I was capable. So yeah.
I see. So, wow. Okay. And then, if you don't mind me asking you, so 2014 was your first recorded amateur fight, in 2015, 2016. How old were you at the time, 2016? Did you say you were 20 when you turned pro?
I was 19.
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
congratulations.
19 when I turned pro.
That's congratulations. It's really young as well to be turning pro.
Yeah.
Since then, yeah. How old are you now?
Just turned 25, so still pretty young, but getting on a little bit, and it's time to pull the trigger a bit more, I reckon. So, going to be more active.
Well, congratulations, man. Happy belated birthday as well. I mean, you've considering all your fights, you're 8-0, but 5 in a professional record. But let's call it 8-0 for the time being. Anyway, let me ask you, man. So you fought already this year, and you said you want to be more active. And you got your next fight coming up in the 7th of August. How many more fights do you plan to have before the year is through?
Well, I reckon I only get one more in at this rate, August. By the time this fight's over, August, September, probably get one more in. But I would have liked to get 2, but we'll see. It all depends how you pull up. I might have a war with Mumford and I might break a bone or have an injury. But if I'm fresh and ready, I'll go down as soon as I can.
Awesome, man. So you are now also apologies. You're also fighting at 155 pounds. Do you plan to stay in this weight category? You're hoping to bump up or bump down, or what's your plan?
I plan to stay at lightweight. If anything, I'm going to get a little bigger, and then stay at this weight. I probably could make featherweight. I've always been a smaller lightweight, I feel. But I feel that's one of my strengths. I don't cut too much weight, and I've always got a lot of gas in there. So I always go to 3 or 5 rounds, and I can always push the pace. I think that's one of the reasons why I don't cut a shitload of weight like some guys. But I plan to stay at lightweight for sure, mate.
Sounds good. So if you plan to stay at lightweight, you don't have to cut much weight. What's the process that you go through? Do you have to cut much weight for fight day?
I generally cut about 3 kilos of water on fight day, which is not really much in this day and age compared to some of the other guys. So, it comes off pretty quick. A couple of rounds in the bath and the towels, and I'm ready to go. So, it's not a very good fight for me.
Oh, that's good. The old bath and towels. Yeah. Hear that one a lot. Yeah. I mean, the saunas are not as fun as people say they like them to be. I mean, if you're using it for a method of recovery, they like them. But if you use it to cut all that weight, they can take a toll on the body. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't sweat much. It takes me way longer. Like, if I go to the sauna, I can only lose a kilo in like 30 minutes. Like, compared to the bath where I just shred at least 1.5 kilos in my first bath, which is only 15, 20 minutes. And, 10 minutes in the towels, and then it's like 1.5 kilos, nearly 2. So, I prefer to use the bath.
Fair enough, man. So let me ask you, man, the reason why I like to ask fighters this is because I too myself I am a strength coach. Now, I believe in strength conditioning can be used across pretty much almost any sport. So from me to you, like, what's it like as an MMA fighter? What do you do for your strength? What do you do for your strength and conditioning?
I've got a program from my coach, Beth. It's 2 weight sessions a week and 2 to 3 running sessions a week. So it depends how the body is on the 3rd running session. But food strength. Obviously it's different phases of the the fight. So strength at the start, and then like a bit of explosive stuff, and then like speed towards the end. And then the running is different. There's different blocks. It's done on the air runner. The the treadmill without like the one that you use to push the air runner. I don't know if you've seen them. The one where you just run and it's like a conveyor belt, that one. So we do the runs on that. So yeah, it's all different blocks. So so it's a 10-week running program. So they're all different speeds and like different sets and times. So yeah, it's very hard to explain. But you peak by the time the fight's when you peak. So yeah, I do a lot of running. Small weights, like not too much in the weight room. I think it's not that important when you're in camp. I think you get your strength outside of camp, and then you worry about your martial arts. In camp, like I'd rather do like 5-minute rounds of sparring rather than doing my weights. Like yeah, I'd rather my weights not hinder my MMA training. Put it that way.
Okay, that's cool. So let's say can you by any chance like run me through like a typical week for you? Like how many sessions do you normally do a week, and what are the type of sessions that you normally do a week, and how much do they vary depending on where you are in camp?
Yeah, so typical week, Monday we do pads at Nitro, like pads and drills. So about 8 or 9 rounds on the pads, so quite a bit. And then I'll have a break, and then in the afternoon I'll do my running session, which is fairly intense, the running session. So that's Monday, because Monday I don't go to integrated, I stay at Nitro for the day and work. And then Tuesday I actually do boxing sparring Tuesday at Nitro, and I only do about 6 rounds on Tuesdays because I have to go to integrated that night, and we do MMA sparring Tuesday night as well. So that day is pretty heavy. Tuesday is a pretty heavy day. So I'll do 6 boxing rounds in the morning, and then at night I'll do my MMA rounds, which is like probably 3 5s with small gloves, like 7s and small shin pads, and that's where we get our good hard work in. So that's Tuesday. Wednesday is a little bit lighter, so we do a bit of pads at Nitro on Wednesday, just light, not too much, probably about 5 rounds. And then Wednesday night, I go down to integrated and I do some jiu-jitsu, but depends how I'm feeling. Sometimes I go hard, sometimes I just sort of flow. Depends how the body is, And then Thursday, I do sparring at Nitro again, boxing, but that's a bit more heavy because I don't have to go to integrated that night. So I do about between 8 and 10 rounds of boxing. So it depends who's there on the day and, how many trainer partners we've got. And how the body is, but yeah, generally 8 to 10 boxing rounds, and then in the afternoon I'll do my run. So that's another heavy day Thursday. Friday we do pads at Nitro, pads and skills, drills, pads, just depends what the coach wants. And then Friday night I go to integrate, and that's where we wrestle. So we do our freestyle wrestling Friday night. So that's pretty hard night of the week. That's we just do a few drills and then we sort of go for it. 5 to 6 rounds of wrestling, 3-minute rounds. So it's pretty hard freestyle wrestling. Just sort of go for it and get some good work in. So that's Friday. And then Saturday, I just do my 1 run session on Saturday, depending how I feel. Sometimes I might not do it. And sometimes I might just recover the whole week. And, I might just do a few saunas with stretching and maybe go for like a light jog. Just depends how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
So that's a typical week for me.
Yeah. That is a heavy week, man. That is a lot. It's like
Because
I gotta ask, like, how do you recover from all that? Like, do you have like someone helping you with your nutrition or anything like that?
Yeah, well, I'm with Geordie from the flight dietitian, so I've got him. I get massage once a week. I've got a good massage therapist. I sleep well. I always sleep well. That's a really big thing.
How many hours do you get a night?
I think between 7.5 to 8, like probably every night. Ooh, which is all right. Like, it's enough.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, like that 7.5 at least. That's a sweet spot for a lot of people. I tell me. Usually when people say they get less than 7, or they get like 5 or even less, their day's like shite. But whenever they get at least 7, that's a really good sweet spot for a lot of athletes. Yeah.
I do listen to my body. Some days I might be feeling a bit banged up, And I might go not as hard. I do listen. I do take days off during the week sometimes. Depends how I feel. But I'm not stupid with my training. Always, take a day off here and there if I need it, which is important. I think a lot of athletes get in their head that they have to train hard every day. And don't get me wrong, I love training hard, but sometimes you need to have a rest, like a day or even 2 days, where you just take a rest. You're not going to lose any. You're not going to lose any fitness. If not, you're gonna get better when you get back in the gym.
Understood, man. So next up, I want to say, I don't want to jump too far ahead, or I don't want to put any words in your mouth. But one thing I always like to ask fighters, really, if there's, let's say, in the future, man, when you make it eventually, if you go into the UFC or if you make it into another organization, is there anyone in particular that you would like to fight? Considering the lightweight division in the UFC right now is an absolute bloody shark tank. There's so much stacked talent. But there's anyone, if you could fight anyone from any organization in your weight category, who would you fight?
Probably Dustin Poirier.
Sorry, say that again?
I reckon I'd say Dustin Poirier.
Whoa, calling out the big now. Okay, all right.
That's a big step. That's a big step.
Yeah. Well,
but,
go.
You have to think like that. One day you could fight these guys that you're watching on the TV, and you could be in that organization. So you gotta have that mindset. I think you can't just think that these guys are away from you at level, but when you could be there in a couple of years, 2 or 3 years or even less.
That's awesome, man. I really appreciate that mindset. Now I'm actually glad that you brought that up as well, because a few weeks ago we had the Conor McGregor leg break against Dustin Poirier. Yeah. And I'm just going around asking all the fighters I'm interviewing, what's your take on McGregor now? Do you think he can come back from that?
Oh, I think he can come back. He definitely can come back. I think it's a pretty big tough mentally. I've never broken my leg before, but I'm sure it'd be a tough gig trying to come back from that, and especially the way he went down. So I definitely think he can come back, but yeah, it's definitely a nasty break.
Yeah. And do you reckon what do you reckon should be next for him? Do you reckon they should give him the fourth ever UFC fight between two opponents against Dustin Poirier, or do you think he should move on to something else?
I think he should move on to another fight. I think we've seen enough of that fight, 3 fights now. And it looked like you just never know, though. You never know with MMA. It's a fucking crazy sport. McGregor might have got up and pieced him up and knocked him out, or Dustin would have kept smashing him. You just never know. It's a crazy sport. Anything can happen, can it?
Understood, man. Understood. Now, we're just a little bit struck for time, man. I just wanted to say, just keep this going for a little bit longer. I just wanted to finish this up by saying, man, are there any along your road of, in the MMA, and I don't believe in being a self-made man. I believe that everybody's got people behind them, and I believe that some people have got assistance. So this is the time from the podcast. This is what I would like to ask. Is there anyone who you'd like to thank, or any sponsors you'd like to, extend your gratitude to? So by all means.
Yeah, so I just want to thank my coaches, Adrian Payne and Blair Studley. They're always, leading the way for me. And also my couple of my good sponsors and my close friends are Nate from Alpha Hair Clinic. So you can find him on Instagram, Alpha Hair Clinic, ALPHA Hair Clinic. And also my good mate Scott from Form Up, which is civil construction. You can find him on Instagram, Form Up, just FORMUP, no spaces. So yeah, my great appreciation to all those guys.
Awesome. Now, the last question I just wanted to ask you, man, you got your big fight in 7th of August. What are your predictions on how you would like the fight to go?
I think I'll wear him down a little bit. I think I'll keep up the pace with him for a few rounds, and then I think I'll start to overpower him with my cardio and my skills, and I think I'll get the finish in round 3 or 4.
Awesome, man. Well, I'll certainly be cheering for you. So I'll be betting for you. I was betting on this. Well, I didn't really bet. But I'll certainly be cheering for you back here in Perth, man. All the best, and thank you so much for your time, man. Take care.
Thanks,
all right, man. One more time. Dan Till, everybody. Thank you very much.